guys and gals, Joe here. Grab your tea, favorite spirit, or smoke, and enjoy Thump, the podcast about everything yet nothing at all. Dirty is the undisputed genius and king of Lawnland on YouTube, crowned the king for calling out the dumbasses who saw themselves as stars, earning him an army of loyal followers. Armed with his sharp intellect, this mofo fearlessly took down these idiots. With every video, he dissected the flawed practices and debunked myths in a manner that left his viewers in awe. Also, Dirty has a passion that fuels his creativity and energy, surfing. When he's not sharing his knowledge with the masses, you can find Dirty riding the waves. Dirty's genius, combined with his commitment to enlightening and entertaining his viewers, has undeniably made him the reigning king of Lawnland on YouTube. Dirty continues to reign as the supreme mofo, captivating audiences with his intense wit, vast knowledge, and unquenchable thirst for excellence. His primary focus is on 100 acres he and his business partner are developing into a venue. Float, who also works in the lawn care and pressure washing industries, is the sensational sapsucker from Alabama. This finned extraordinaire isn't just any old fish. No, sir. Float happens to be the crowned king of fishing, a title he earned with his impeccable sapsucker rodcasting skills and uncanny ability to outsmart even the smallest of aquatic creatures. But Float isn't just about reeling in the big ones and boasting about his trophy catches. Oh no, he's got a little something extra up his scaly sleeve. When he's not dominating the fishing scene, Float is busting a move and wiggling his worm on social media platforms. Yes, this fantastic fish has some seriously smooth moves and isn't afraid to show them off to his adoring fans. With his viral dance videos, Float spreads joy and laughter far and wide. From the electric minnow slide to the boogie brim shuffle, his repertoire is guaranteed to keep you hooked and fin tapping for more. But what truly sets Float apart from the rest is his heartfelt motto, love always wins. In a world where finning and fishing for likes can take center stage, Float reminds us all that love, kindness, eating crappy food, that Dirty sends him, and a good old belly laugh can triumph above all else. So let's all take a lesson from this incredible sapsucker, and remember to spread love and joy wherever we go, just like Float, the fishing king with moves that would make even the salmon blush. Get ready, mofos. Thump podcast will soon begin. And remember, love always wins.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yo, mofos. Sound check. Be up in a minute.
Windows down, speakers loud, blowing marijuana. Funny when you at the bottom, don't nobody want you. When you on the up and up, now everybody.
Hello.
Through my city like it's California. Windows down, speakers loud, blowing marijuana. It's funny when you at the bottom, don't nobody
Hello.
want you. When you on the up and up,
Come on, Beardus.
Like I ain't never been to Cali, but my weed has. They catch me rolling through my island with my seat back and my eyes low. We got that loud pack, just like Chicago. You know.
Come on in. Got 4 people. Give me 4 thumbs up. Like the live stream, please.
I gotta go. I love you. Call you back. Now I ain't worried about nothing. I know the future's straight. Shot my bro to roll it up and meet me up at Heaven's Gate. Long as my people riding with me, I'ma find a way. Exhale the bullshit. I'm on my way to brighter days. I've been riding through my city like it's California. Windows down, speakers loud, blowing marijuana. It's funny when you at the bottom, don't nobody want you. But when you on the up and up, everybody love you. I've been riding through my city like it's California. Windows down, speakers loud, blowing marijuana. It's funny when you at the bottom, don't nobody want you. But when you on the up and up, everybody love you. I'm out here living life, do all I can to live it right. To live it like the darker days.
What's up?
And feel the vibe. I feel alive, I feel the rise, feel the tides, they turning, they shifting. These
Chill down the music a little bit here.
Try to defy the odds and be a holy city legend.
What's happening?
Gotta get the holy city ribbon. Like gave me lemon, so I went and made some lemonade. Now
Yes, Pookie came up with a damn excuse. That's exactly what the fuck happened. I can't make it.
I'm on my way to the major, soon I'll be blowing up. Tell my boy to roll it up. Hit the gas, I'm going up. Window down, speakers loud, pulling up, they know it's us. Catch me riding through the truck, I swear I love my city, man. When I make it, I'll be taking all my people with me. That's sneaky and saucy. I love my people.
Pookie, come out wherever you are. He said he had to go visit his friend. I'm suspicious. Damn right suspicious of that. I want that music stopped.
I've been riding through my city like it's California. Windows down, speakers loud, blowing marijuana. It's funny when you at the bottom, don't nobody want you. When you...
Oh, I'm on the wrong thing. Ha 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 ha. That's funny. Yay! But you know, this is what we think of Pookie not showing up. It's ridiculous. See? Actually, it's his brother. He spoke about it on the live last week. What the situation was. And I totally understand. No, not Walker. Sorry. His brother. His brother's dealing with some wild shit. I mean, potentially what could be, and I'm sure he wants to be there for him and help him work through the process. So I totally get it. But what's everybody doing tonight, man? What's everybody up to? We've had a crazy week here. Had a bunch of rain. I guess everybody else has as well, since that storm is kind of swept through the whole freaking right-hand side of the country, and you know there's another one doing the same thing. So been dodging rain, doing sod installs, mulch installs, pine straw. What else? Lights, Christmas lights. Did some Christmas lights today. It's nothing we focus on, but we were asked to do it by a client and said, what the hell? Got almost 4.5 inches of rain tomorrow. Got almost 4.5 inches of rain tomorrow. You mean gonna get? Or yesterday? It was a lot around here. I don't know how much it was. I don't keep a rain gauge or anything. If it's raining, it's raining. If it ain't, it ain't. If it's too wet to work, it's too wet to work. If it ain't, it ain't. But we didn't work yesterday. It was it barely got above 50 degrees, and there was some hard rain overnight, but during the day it was just kind of like a misty rain, and about every hour it would like rain. I'm like, ain't nobody going to work in that shit. I was like, they'd be back in 30 minutes, soaking wet, fucking shaking. I'm like, nah, just keep your ass home. Okay, 3.5 and getting 1 to 1.5 tomorrow. The system is blowing through now. It looks like it's gonna miss us, which is fine. We got enough. It's perfect timing though, because we just finished up a big install. Well, it wasn't small. I would call it big. It's a medium landscape install. It's just ripping out old landscape, putting new one in. We didn't have to do any sod or anything at this one. A lot of plants though. It's actually a neighbor of mine, and perfect timing. Right when we were finished, I went over there and watered Saturday, and was gonna go over there Monday. Noticed it was gonna start raining, and it did right after we stopped working, and so it was a full landscape that got a good soaking in this time of year, which means it'll just need periodic watering through the winter after all that rain. We've got a weather station, but the batteries die in just a few months, and apparently I'm the only one that can operate a AA battery pack. I know. I'm the same way here. I'm the only one. Lately I've refused though. I'm like, I am not fucking changing battery. If it ain't mine, I ain't changing the batteries. Fuck them. Ain't doing it. That's my new philosophy. If I don't use it, I ain't changing your damn batteries. Figure it out. But yeah, that's been our week. Not too crazy, not too subtle. Kind of perfect, actually. Work very close to the house, obviously. Neighbor. Gonna go get dinner. All right. Is Ron in the building? I hadn't heard Ron say anything. We do have a bunch of shit to do tomorrow, though. I was just over here looking at the board. Got a bunch of sod next week. But now we got 4 in the building. That's gonna be an easy sod job for him, though. That's wide open, easy prep, easy in, easy out. Day of prep, day of sod, finished. I worked on some ads today. Got a couple of video ads. Put one up. Gonna save one for the weekend. Most of the groups around here, like neighborhood groups and all that shit, they only want you to post 2 times a week max. And I abide by that. So the last thing I want to do is get kicked off. So I usually do one on Wednesday and one on Saturday or Sunday. And I get pretty good responses from Facebook and Nextdoor. And it's funny, Nextdoor is like, for a lot of people, they either have success with it or they don't get shit. And funny thing is, I wasn't the beginning, I wasn't expecting to get much out of it, and I got on there, oh God, 5 years ago? Maybe it was 4, but no less than that. And I was like, I'll try it. Shit. There's never once that I've put something up and not gotten a phone call. Or a job, really. It's worked quite well for me. But I think Virgil had said that he hadn't had much luck at all with it, and there's been some other people. Then I've talked to others that have said, yeah, man, that's the only thing I use. So it's obviously hit or miss, and it's really awkward because you can't. You could dial in on certain people, but it's not as broad of a spectrum that you want, like off of Facebook. I love to get in like local groups, in town groups and neighborhood groups, and I have really good success with those. I could always generate a few jobs pretty quickly. I need to land one for between Thanksgiving and Christmas, though, and because we've actually got work lined up for January, late January. So I'd like to land 2 more really good jobs, one for just before the end of the year and one for the very beginning of the year. And we'll be in good shape. I have no fear that Brit, spooky Pookie. Yeah, he got chicken. He said he had to go hang out with his brother, but he's scared to death. See, I got the jelly beans right. Actually, here, I'll prove it to you. Where's my fucking knife? Cuts like a knife. My teeth do. See, we all received them. And the minute it shows up at Pookie's doorstep, I can't make it up. I can't make it. Sorry I missed your live, by the way. Saw where Float sent it to me on Messenger and Facebook. And we were speaking of spooky. We were watching spooky movies. I think we were watching Halloween, Rob Zombie's remake, and I didn't see that he had sent me anything until the next morning. And it's not like I was hardcore paying attention to it. We were just chilling. I told him to send me a text next time. That way I can, because I'll jump in, at least say hello. Damn, what all in the hell is leaving the hospital? Jesus Christ. But if he'll text me next time, I'll bounce right in. Because I get on Facebook, but I only scroll like 1, 2, 3 just to see what might or might not be up, and that's the attention span that I have for Facebook these days, because I'm getting on intentionally to go to like Marketplace. Spooky dirty. But that's my intentions with Facebook, and has been for a long time. If you're on the first 3, and I literally give it 1, read 1, read 2, read 3, 4, so 4 full pages, and if you're not in that, I'm out. I be gone, Jack. Going to Facebook Marketplace. That's what I was actually on right before I started. Right here, there's looking for some equipment, but also somebody had here it is, 1976 TR6 for sale that I'm kind of keeping my eyes on. I'd like to have it. Right now is not a wise time to be buying it for me. But I think I've had a couple of triumphs, and I think that's what I want my next one to be. For my little just bebop cruise in, drive to the beach car. And but right now I need another pickup truck, so we gotta keep growing, and it's more important to make sure the business is making money than I am spending money right now. Much as I want to pull the trigger, can't do it right now. But once spring comes around, just might have to do it. Might have to do it. Everybody's quiet in the chat this evening. Y'all being boring. Am I being boring too? Give me a thumbs up if it's boring. I guess Virgil's out on date night again tonight. Oh, look, an old Lawn Boy lawnmower. 2-stroke. Oh my God, where is that? St. Paul's, North Carolina. I have no clue where the fuck that is. I want that mower though. I don't know what I'd do with it. Well, I do know what I'd do with it. I'd give it to the guys, and as long as they didn't put regular gas in it, that thing would never die. Ever. You can't kill those old 2-stroke lawn boys. I'm going to save that, matter of fact. It's a chill night, so I don't have well north of you. Are you delayed? What are you talking about? If you're talking about the storm I was talking about 10 minutes ago, you way behind. Way behind. BMW RAS 650. How have I never seen one of those? Huh. Anyway, it's my life tonight. Marketplace. What's y'all's life tonight? Talk to me about it. Tell me what you're doing. Ooh, doing. Doing. I also need a tractor. Been looking at tractors for some versatility. Yo, Tracy, what's up? Brit was in here. I don't know if she still is or not. Maybe she's cleaning or something. Listen, I don't know. The viewer count hadn't gone down, but I haven't seen her say anything. I'm just bullshitting around here because Float got scared. Little chicken shit didn't want to do. So he came up with an excuse to not be here. That's what happened. I bet he's over there on TikTok. Snooping around, acting like he's not on social media. I guarantee it. Hell, he's probably watching this. Sitting there in his tighty whities. No pants, no shirt. Milk from his cereal all down in his beard. Captain Crunch all in his teeth. See, probably. See, you know. You get it. You understand. Andrew understands. But anyway, what I've been doing is ain't no fucking... What? Kenny, what's up, man? Hold on 1 second. I got to respond to something. What's going on, Ken? I guess it's getting a little bit too chilly for your ass, huh? Oops, I didn't want to do that. Where's your Halloween costume? You know, this is the first year I haven't had one. Well, I take that back. I've got several. I don't know where they are. It's the first year in a while that I didn't buy a new one. We, a friend of ours has, lives down the street here, actually has a house that George Washington, yes, the first president, George Washington, stayed in for a couple of weeks. Beautiful, beautiful house. And, they do a Halloween party every year, and it was this past Saturday. I don't even know that I knew that it was happening yet, because with Halloween being on the weekend, I thought they might be doing it this coming weekend. Didn't think to ask anything, and then Sarah asked me Saturday morning if we want to go. I was like, well, I haven't bought anything to go to a costume party again, so which I was kind of bummed about, but we didn't go. And that and tomorrow's my wife's birthday, so Halloween's a pretty big deal. But Saturday night, I'm sure a bunch of us will get together and maybe, I don't know, cruise the streets. Who knows? Oh, I don't know, man. Kenny, I don't know. I really don't even pay attention to his shit. He just became such a blithering idiot that I was just like, it's there's no helping that guy. Although I do think from time to time to go check in and see what's going on in case I want to make another video, but I haven't. So there's that. Thank you, Tracy. I will. But yeah, she's the, what is she? 44. She'll be 44 tomorrow. 44. Yes, Andrew. It's like a decade stuck in time. I just didn't know if you were checking on him every now. Nah, not really. One of his things came across. Um, what was that? A week ago, last week. I know that he's gotten forestry mulcher. Um, but I don't know anything about what he's doing, which I just found profoundly funny because I told him that's what he needed to do 3 years ago. And that's what started our dispute was he told me I was a dumbass and he wasn't getting into that and wasn't going to look for work outside of the customers he already has, you know, because he's scared he's going to get beat with payment. And here he is with one. It looks like one of those cheap Chinese fucking things, though, which will probably break. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It is kind of funny. You know, he talked all that mad shit, and then that's exactly the path 3 or 4 years later that he's heading down. But you know, he only you know, he only buys the best, you know, top quality shit. He's got one of these. I could be wrong, but looking at the thumbnail, it looked like one of those cheap ass fucking Chinese forestry mulchers, which are, I mean, you pick those things up for like $3,000 or $4,000 somewhere in that neighborhood, and a quality one is $30,000 to $40,000. I mean, how long is that fucking thing gonna last for real? Ain't that the fucking truth, man? Ain't that the truth? Yeah, she's trying to figure out how to make us look dumb, Andrew. That's what she's trying to figure out. But it has maybe a little curious, but who knows? I would laugh if he's doing really good with it because it just proves me right. Although the market with those things is so fucking saturated now. You know, if there's no one else in your area that really has one or isn't putting much focus on one or has, you know, a lot of government contract work and isn't looking for residential shit, you could probably do pretty good. But these days, that's why I would never get back into it because they're like lawnmowers now. You know, it seems like that's where a lot of people go and get into, and they're everywhere. But it's very cyclical because you've got anywhere from, you know, if you've got a little baby one like Ray that's, you know, maybe 75, 80 grand all in, with, you know. But most people have at least an ASV 120 or you know, things like that. And, you know, you're into close to 180, 190 grand by the time you have that and a good gyro track or Fecon cutter head or, you know, some other brand. FAE maybe. And they think they're going to get jobs like mowing grass. And you run the cycle around your immediate area, and it's all gravy for about 2 years, and then you're done, unless you're willing to travel. And most of these people ain't willing to fucking travel. When I had mine, dude, I was one of the first people to ever have one of these fucking things. Literally. I covered the whole Southeast. Still made a fucking killing. But the funny thing is, it's what people are charging now is what I was charging in 2004. You think of how far the dollar goes in 2004 versus how far the dollar goes today. The equipment's twice as expensive to own and operate, and you're still making the same dollar. Fuck that. Yeah, man. Where's KLC? Don't forget the trailer for it. Yeah, you're right. The dollar went almost twice as far, dude. Especially when it comes to like equipment and things like that. Because you're still in the phase 20 years ago when they weren't trying to rob the contractors and the farmers. Now that's changed. You know, the prices started jumping up, and especially with the forestry mulch and stuff, once it started to catch on, they just started stacking the price, stacking it. Then you got, then inflation caught up with everybody 2 years ago, 3 years ago. That took it up there even more. Yeah, people are struggling out there. There's no denying that. I mean, there's a lot to adapt to since in the past few years. Well, like I said, in 2000, I can't remember if it was 2000. And no, it would have been 2003 or 4 when I got the first gyro track. It was for the machine, cutter head, forestry kit installed on it, which was a big roll cage and protection bars and upgraded Lexan plexiglass front door. That's like a 1/2 inch thick versus the little 1/4 inch shit that comes stock on most things. It was in the 120s, low 120s. And they're way above that now. I mean, 120 will just get you, these days, will just get you a base model ASV 120 with no attachments, no forestry package. BRB, okay. It's a lot to take on, and there's, like I said, I see them. Same thing with the pressure washing people, and people jump into that because it's very low overhead. You see those guys. I got a hair right here; it's driving me crazy. Ron, there he is. Just ask him where you were, or if you were in here. But the low barrier of entry on that had everyone. Last few years. That's kind of slowed down a good bit. What was that? Oh, notification. But anyway, that is greatly slowed down. I don't see this year. I didn't see too many people look like they were, on the startup on anything. I'm sure they're out there. They just weren't out there in force like they have been in the past few years. Bridges. What bridges are out, Andrew? No bridges out around here. Hey, did y'all hear about the diseased monkeys that escaped in Mississippi? I heard one of them's still out there, possibly headed for Alabama. Tried to warn Float, but he ain't gonna pay no attention. Vigil for Virgil. I need to bring a candle out here. I really do. I haven't had a vigili. I'm trying to think if there's. Maybe I could make a Molotov cocktail, but no. I can't. time is it? What time is it? I was looking to see what percent my charge was on. I didn't give a fuck what time it was. Ugh. That's funny though. It says Andrew made that comment at 10:10. My phone says it. Oh no, never mind. I thought it said 10:07. It says 10:11. All right, never mind. I was like, something's messed up. There's a time warp somewhere. Thump is live. Yes, we are, Ron. I don't know if Virgil knows. I know Will knows. Will is listening, I do believe. Will I am. 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 Yeah, my thinking probably is off, Andrew. It probably is. Or a haircut. Now what are you talking about? Shave and a haircut, 2 bits. Andrew's conversations are way off tonight. He starts over here and it's like, ting, he's over there somewhere. Bridge, haircut, rain. No, Sasha's in the house. I thought about bringing her out here. Probably should have. Because I know she kind of gets a little mad that, you know, when I come out here to do these or when I'm out here during the day in the office, that she sits in there and mopes and gets a little pissy. Who's replacing Bridges, Andrew? Where? Oh, thinking of a haircut. Now I see it. No, but I need to shave. My neck's itchy. It's all itchy. Well, they realized that a long time ago. Actually, some engineers and stuff are still doing some work though on the bridge going over to Polly's, going over the intercoastal. They replaced that whole bridge without ever stopping traffic going over it. That was wild. Whole brand new fucking bridge. And the bridge never closed. It was cool to watch. They literally, you know, the road part we drive on, it's 4-lane bridge. I took it down to 2 lanes on one side. They ripped everything off of this side and built it back. And they swapped everybody to this side, and they redid this side, guardrails and everything. And then, while everyone is going back to, you know, 2-lane traffic in both directions, they did the piers underneath. The wildest shit I've ever seen in my life. Uh-oh. What's up? Closed for 4 years. Jesus. Hell, like I said, they replaced this whole bridge in a fucking year with people driving over it. That's the first time I've ever seen anything like it. And it's not a small bridge. I mean, it's not the Cooper River Bridge. But it ain't a small bridge. Will the Thrill, how are you doing? How do you do, boo? Rich is lurking in the background. Holy shit, he's live. Yes, sir? Yes, sir, it's Wednesday night. Holy shit, it's Wednesday and we all survived. We're here, we're live. Except for Pookie. Pookie got scared like Dookie and wouldn't come in here to do Bean Boozled. He got his beans and he bounced like a bitch. That should have been the thumbnail. He got his beans and bounced like a bitch. Good to be back, good to be back, good to be back, back. Yes, sir. Good to have you back, Willard. It's a chill night, so I'm scrolling Marketplace and bullshitting at the same time. Oh, I saw that one already. Tripod, how's it hanging? Tripod. You hear that, Will? But yeah, man, I gotta find me another truck. The only thing I don't need right now is another trailer. And I gotta find a tractor. And I would like to do it all before the end of the year, especially the truck, because right now, this year, if you buy a brand new truck, not only do you get the standard business deductions, but you can also deduct the interest, which is a little bit of a double dip for this year, which isn't much in my book, but, you know, dollar's a dollar. And dealerships are starting to, they're starting to feel the pinch. I thought about doing this back in June. I said, no, I'm going to wait, because that's when, you know, there's a lot of chatter about, you know, car sales, especially trucks, not doing so well, because, you know, they're just trying to sell loaded shit. And everybody talks about the economy on this. It's not the economy. The same thing 10 years ago happened to the fucking SUVs, Suburbans, and you know, all that shit. Because all the yuppies had to have a fucking Suburban from, was it 95, 96 when that started to catch on? You know, they didn't want their Volvos anymore, and their Jeep Cherokees. They all wanted full-size SUVs. And those things went through the roof. Fucking crazy. What happened about 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago? Probably about 8. They plateaued. Because everybody was, all the fucking yuppie guys were buying fucking pickup trucks that they didn't even fucking need. So truck prices went ding. And of course, then we had the fucking COVID adjustment, you know, where they were getting prices, anything they could ask for, because they had no fucking stock and thought they could keep those prices going. They can't. Prices have dropped like crazy. And are starting to. A lot. It's hanging. Were they Tennessee bound? They're still high, but there's huge discounts, dude. Huge. I made the mistake. I say it again. I made the mistake. I don't do those often. Of interacting with the Dodge dealership up here, the Ram trucks. They still have 2023 trucks on the fucking lot. And like 6 2024s. And they're loaded to the gills like everybody else with 2025s. You go by a car dealership now, they are bloated with new vehicles because ain't nobody fucking touching them. And now they're starting to trickle down. And on top of trickling down, there's all kinds of incentives to buy them, and discounts and all this shit if you go in and inquire. Dude, they will not stop hounding me about the 2 trucks that I looked at over there, and it's pissing me off, dude. It is this New Jersey car salesman that somehow found his way into managing the Dodge dealership here. Leaving me voice messages, just hard pressing me to call him back, and what a deal. He's going to let me steal that truck from them. He's going to give it away. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, dude, shut up. If he'd have just said, hey, man, can you call me back on this? I knew you were interested. Let's talk further. I'd have called that motherfucker back. But he goes on and on about how he's giving me these great deals and he's going to give it away. He's going to take a loss. Most dealerships today and for years have not made a dime on a lot of their vehicles. They've done it on specialty trucks, specialty cars, things like that, where they can jack the MSRP because for 6 months they're hot. But after that, it just levels out, and they try to get these crazy prices. But anyway, a lot of them are kind of losing money on sales because things sit too long. And they've always made minimal money on that. The money is in the financing and everything on the back end, and service agreements and all that shit. That's where they make the bulk of their fucking money. I'm like, dude, I don't, at this point, I really don't care if you wanted to give me that truck. Literally, give me the truck. I wouldn't take it from this guy. Drives me back. There's like 4 voicemails. I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. But that shows the desperation. They know they've got somebody that's seriously looking with good credit. They're out there fucking whoring themselves. Blocking. Nah, I kind of got to where after the 3rd one, it's kind of like me and Alpha listened to it. It's like, what'd he say today? No, fenders don't rot out around here, man. And, but it's a new truck. I would hope it's not rotting out. But it's getting kind of comical out there. But that just shows the desperation for vehicle sales right now. It's like anything truck or Jeep related, anywhere in that wheelhouse, they're having a hard time. Ford's starting to have a hard time all the way around. Well, they don't offer any cars except for the Mustang. And your average Joe doesn't even want all that shit. It's like they're trying to sell just their top tier stuff. Like a Ford XL. You can still get like the XL that we all know for work. You got to go dig for them. And now work trucks are only dedicated to certain dealers, allocated, whatever you call it. And so and a lot of them don't even have them listed on their website because they want you interested in those shiny things. But even like the XLs now, dude, they have more on them than Lariats did 15 years ago. Their basic intro truck is like ridiculously loaded with shit. It's like nobody really wants that shit, man. No one fucking cares. Especially when when 80% of the world just needs a truck to work and or a car to get from A to fucking B, maybe have a good radio in it and some power fucking windows, and not cheap little donut tires on it. Outside of that, nobody wants all that fucking shit. They're gonna figure it out real fast. Scott, what's up, man? Stellantis is junk. Yeah. That's one of their bigger issues is they got the problems. The big problems. What's happening up in them hills, man? My parents are coming to their house tomorrow over here to Because my mom, they living out in the country for years, and you know, the house up in the mountains, it's out in the middle of fucking nowhere, all things said. And ain't no trick or treater, so she's all excited about coming and staying at their house here and being able to hand out candy to all the little trick or treating kids. Plus, they got to move a bunch of furniture for contractors to come in and do some sheetrock work and scrape the ceilings. Yeah, there's, and everybody warned of that, especially post-COVID with, all the shit, that junk that they've converted to. What scares me the most, I mean, I don't really care, because a deal's a deal on the business end right now, because if and it is any time for me, because if I keep a truck past 40,000 miles, brand new or used, if I put 40,000 miles on a vehicle, I've had it a long ass fucking time. And when they've exhausted, when the write-offs are exhausted, I trade it in. And that's usually 2 years. Decided to make brownies. Hey, sounds good to me, man. Clouds and rainy. Yeah, y'all got more coming in. It's gonna miss that shit that's coming through there now. It looks like it's gonna miss us. It says no rain, but it said no rain about 8 hours before all this rain 2 days ago. So I've seen a little bit, Andrew, man. That there was that thing was a 5 when it hit that little island. I bet it fucked some shit up. But back to what I was saying about trucks, Ram seems to have problems all the way across the board. Chevy's had a lot of those transmissions in recent years have never really been good on Chevrolets. But I know a lot of people that had those transmissions and lost complete engine loss at under 40,000 miles. I have not heard much of that, none out of the normal, on Fords. The Halloween party at Little Switzerland Inn. We were just talking about Halloween parties. We didn't do any this year. And the one we go to, most specifically, I forgot about. Sarah brings it up like a few, I don't know, less than 48 hours before. And I'm like, I got a costume for this year. I didn't order anything. Did you? No. I'm like, fuck it, I ain't going. You can go. Have fun. She didn't go, though. I do, too. And typically, Andrew, that's what I would be looking for. Or the Nissan Titan, which isn't made anymore, but there's still a few that are with very low miles coming off lease right now. And everybody likes to talk shit about Titans, but everybody I know praises those things, man. And I've got an Armada, which is the same thing, just the SUV version. And I would drive. I would go anywhere in that thing. You couldn't convince me that I can't get another 400,000 miles out of that fucking vehicle. There's Virgil. What's up, Virgil? We've got Virgil, Will, Ron, and Andrew, and Beardus is back in here, and Rich was in here somewhere. KLC. It's like all the old timers in here at one time tonight. Anybody who long hauls right now will tell you Ram trucks are the best. 5 years ago it was Ford. Before, yeah, it's that sounds about right. It's a toss up. Like I said, I haven't heard anything out of the norm with Ford stuff. Everybody talks shit about um, their EcoBoost and stuff like that. But best I can tell, the little bit you hear trash talked about those things is, it's not like the 6.0 diesel where they had traumatic problems. Best I can tell, when I start researching somebody, the people that you can, when they're talking shit about the EcoBoost, they just didn't take care of it. Or they're hot dogging the fucking engine, and taking it beyond its daily normal conditions. And a turbo engine is not the same as just, a fucking air inducted combustion gas engine. It's a totally different beast, and you got to work with them differently. But that's really the only shit talking I hear. 'Cause like I said, again, I know people that've got EcoBoost engines and got hundreds of thousands of miles on them. I did see that. It's kind of funny to watch. A lot of those drug cartels got a problem now because they nobody's on their side right now. Well, there are people who like to be, but the head motherfucker in charge ain't looking to deal with them or turn a blind eye. Yeah, what blows my mind is they stopped making the Titan. They still make the Armada. Why did you stop making the Titan? But my Armada will tow over 11,000 pounds. I can put 3 pallets of sod behind that fucking thing, and it won't even droop. It doesn't even come out of level, and drags it around like it's empty. But their smart move, I mean, would have been to introduce a higher towing capacity. I blame Ron for everything too, man. Fucking Ron. That's why we don't hear much out of him anymore. I know that motherfucker's back there in his dark room, like the dude from The Wizard of Oz, just hoping we don't pull the curtain on his ass, because we know. And we've seen. My feed can't stop showing up all the... it's shit like that. That's why I was earlier, maybe you were in here, or maybe you already eaten, I don't know. But on Facebook, it's 4 pages, 3 scrolls. Page 1, then page 2, page 3, page 4. If you're not in the 4 swipes, which Beardus typically shows up in, and I'm out. I'm done. Cause my main move is I'm checking in on the world briefly as I make my move to marketplace. It's pretty much the only reason I'm fucking over there, man. Or Float may tell me about a video, and I'll go look it up and like it and comment. Other than that, I'll get on TikTok once or twice a day for a couple of scrolls as well. It's usually the same thing: 1, 2, 3, 4, out. Unless I've got notifications that a lawn circus video is dropped up over there on TikTok, then I'll go check it out. Where he falls down. And I've slid in back putting some videos over there on TikTok. Can't help myself when certain people show back up, and there's so many people to pick on over there, and it's ridiculous. I spend more time uploading things over there than I do watching things. But I'll get on Instagram a little bit because it seems like everybody's happy over on Instagram. I don't care what algorithm you get into. You don't see a lot of shit about politics and all this. You just don't see it on Instagram. It's like, hey, look at my mountain view. Look at my car collection. It's the happy place. And shit that I want to see. So that's where if I'm on social media, to be on social media, that's usually where I'm at. Another reason I'm on Facebook is not always Marketplace, but to upload ads in Facebook groups. I did one today. I'm gonna do one over the weekend. Might do one tomorrow because I don't know that I need to go check on anything tomorrow. So I may just be like Ron and harbor back here in my little dark hole office and make another business related video. I'm not gonna talk too much trash. I busted my rear fishing with him last year and busted my elbow. Oh yeah, yeah. He busted his ass. Was that yesterday? I guess. I saw that you commented on it. It's your algorithm. That's weird though, cause I find it weird because Instagram and Facebook are of the same cloth. And I'm following the same people and the same things, and I'd see none of the bullshit. And the same people, even the same people I follow, what they post on Instagram, unless they have everything connected, what they put on Instagram and what they put on Facebook is two totally different things. People getting jacked. That's funny. That sounds like my TikTok algorithm. Oh, see, it's different for you. Yours sounds like it's the complete opposite. When it comes to a lot of friends, I don't care that you see it on Instagram as well, but on Facebook it's here it is. It's like, even with friends, a lot of it can just be so fake. And fake is a bit of a strong word, but it's like everybody's trying to make you think that their world is grand, and like I said, on Instagram, there's just a picture, and it's up for you to interpret it. There may be a small, brief, caption, but Facebook is just constantly, it's just drama. And a lot of people tend to be slightly. It's not fake. Fake is not the word I'm looking for. Maybe I'll figure out the word I'm looking for here in a minute. But embellished, And if it's not that, they're bitching. They're always bitching about something. It's like, man, I ain't got time for that. Algorithm only goes so far. On Facebook, it's about every fifth video. The rest is ads and what's most popular. Yeah, that's very true. Mine got hung up on instant karma videos for a few days. See, I need to see more of those. People acting a fool. Yep. Scott, you still in here? He can back this up. there's some good people we have had in our lives for many, 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 many years. It's just, but they can, they just want everybody to think their world's a lot happier than it is, I guess. It's the best way to put it. And don't get me wrong, there's some straight up honest fucking OGs out there too that's funny as shit. And, but they're not on there all the time, nor are they posting. Yeah, I mean, like me, I very rarely post something. I will tonight because tomorrow is Sarah's birthday. You know, I'll wish her a happy birthday on there, and that'll be that. And the only reason I do that is because she gets upset if I don't. Like, why do you give a fuck who sees what you're fucking, you know, that I wished you happy birthday on Facebook? Why do you give a fuck? Yes. Yes, that's a good way to put it, Beardus. To see Scott said, "Yep." It blows my mind, man. It's just, I don't know. It's just useless information or drama, and I'm like, out. Peace. And that's about 50% of them. And then there's, you know, I'd say it's probably about 40%. Then there's 40% that's, you know, 30 to 40% that you know, just kind of comes and goes, drops some info here and there, blah, blah, blah. And then there's 10 to 20% of them that they just can't shut up about fucking politics. They can't shut up. It's like, if you know, if there's no news to talk about nationally with politics, they'll go dig something up for, you know, the local politics, and it's like, man, just and it's them you look at and go, how's your puppy? How's your mom and them? Holy shit, shut the fuck. I'm like, is that really all you got to do? And if you look around, they've been posting all day, and it's like, you know where they work, you know what they have to do. It's like, you can't be doing a damn thing. Not what you're supposed to be doing. Because shit, you've posted 10 times a day about fucking politics. Well, they're all fucking crazy, man. But yeah, those two are more crazy than any others. But it's just like, I guess it is funny to a degree to capture some of it, because I put it down and I'm like, people leave such sad lives. They're either spending all their time trying to make their life look like something it's not, or there's some sort of online affair going on, or it's politics. And it's like, don't y'all have anything fucking better to do? And especially in our age bracket, because everybody's starting to become empty nesters. So they got nothing better to do. I guess. I don't know. Punishing the people trying to create traffic for their hair brand. Yes, 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 yes. Yep. That's that's accurate. Very accurate. And that's why I stay on YouTube, man. You know, YouTube is my jam, and it has been for eons. It's just like, you know, I just like educating myself or fucking with people. We all know that. But it's because when I get on there to look for educational purposes of people that are at least like-minded or above my, you know, current abilities, and or things I just don't know at all that I want to go fucking check out. And then you got people that insert themselves. We all know who I'm talking about, trying to sound like they're the supreme authority on something, and they're dumber than a box of rocks. I mean, that's what made me go after these people. Is I was like, you're interrupting my shit, man. But and now I can't not watch them because I'm looking to make a video about them. Lawn Circus is back for those of you that don't know. I saw a lady trying to get customers for a business venture, dog walking. You bring your dog to her, she walks it, and then you come pick it back. Dude, you'd be surprised at how many people make money doing that. I don't know out of that exact scenario, but I know that exact scenario goes down often. It's a percentage, a noticeable percentage of the business. But hell, one of Sarah's good friends at work just quit because she's making more money walking dogs than she is in the financial end of real estate. And real estate is strong around here. Very active. YouTube University, yes sir. But she was crushing it just walking dogs because Sarah was dumbfounded. I was like, well, there ain't no dog walkers around here. Maybe you should start. Because she walks every day. I'm like, you might as well go pick up 5 or 6 dogs. Because you go from here to the park, do 2 laps in the big ass. I mean, the park is like 10 fucking acres, maybe 20. And it's got a big loop around the outer rim of it. And she goes down, does 2 fucking loops, and comes back. I'm like, you could easily pick up 5, 6, 7 dogs along the way. Do 2 loops, bring them back. Hell, and come back with, $100 in your pocket. Drive it out. Wait, well, that is dude. I know people that will bring their dogs to dog walkers, but I mean, it's because they're going somewhere. They're going to be, they're on their way to work, drop it off. The people walk it, and then they drop the dog back off at their house when they're not walking it. But no, that's crazy. Dog parks are a big thing, and growing in vast popular. Basically, doggy daycares are getting big around here, and have been in Charleston for a while, and they're slowly finding their way up here. It's just, the thing is if you got to hustle and you let people know and you're consistent, I don't give a damn what you're doing, dude. You'll make money. You'll do good. You could make a lot of money doing any fucking thing. Henley and I were having that conversation a couple weeks ago. Doing doggy daycare. They do a route picking up dogs in a small school. Yeah. There was one in Charleston. One of the people that originally started a doggy daycare like 20 years ago in Charleston just sold it for millions. I was like, what? And millions plural, as in it wasn't 2 million. But it was over 1. Yeah, I gave him that business. That was mine. I just gave it to him because and he made a killing because he would sell them on specialty dog foods and stuff, and he would order them online and drop them off at their houses, and he was doing really good with it until he just didn't bother to start the business back up when he moved to Greenville. But I registered that business and just let it sit on the back burner and cost us, because he was my accountant at the time, and he's like, you ever gonna do anything with that? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. It's just sitting there. It's a great name. There's a lot of people making money off of this, or not a lot, but the people that are doing it are secretly, I should say, because nobody really knew that as a business 20 years ago. And those that were doing it were making very good money. I just didn't have time to apply myself to it. And I was just kind of waiting until I could I was thinking about calling, just get clients together, pull one of my guys, or women at the time actually, and put them on a route. And then things at home started to change. And I was like, I'm just not going to put any more on my plate. And cost, I just said, take it, run with it. And he did well. I got my dad's old Dodge. It's a retired Alabama fishing game. Oh man, that's funny you mentioned that, man. There was an old at South Carolina DNR truck somebody had for sale a couple months ago. It was like a 78, 79 and Dodge. And it was cleaner than clean, man. And I was like, damn, I'd love to have that thing. Somebody bought it real quick. That would be a good thing to do, though. Go talk shit to people. Bribe money. Yeah, and that's how that's how I use my social media, is more on the enterprising side. And like I said, not that I don't go down my little rabbit holes, but so many people are just stuck in rabbit holes. They don't even know they are. Just mindlessly doing this, looking at the dumbest fucking shit fucking ever for no fucking reason, or just being nosy. I've got literally like 3-minute attention span for that shit, and I'm off to something that's either gonna make me money, or I just want to spend some money, or it's gonna I'm gonna learn something. That's the only reason I'm around, really. And then there's a little 10% of the time that I spend on trolling, which is it's my fun. And I didn't even do that for a long time. But I kind of jump back in a little bit again. Because it's just so funny to irritate dumbasses. It's a lot of fun, in my opinion. And when I say dumbasses, I mean that literally. I mean just these ignorant fucks that are trying to fool the fucking world. And I'll call them out. Most of you know. Some of you don't. That's why I'm saying it. But second gen green steel wheels. Yeah, that's what this was. It was green. It still had the old black brush bar up on the front and fucking steelies on it. I don't know if it was manual or not, but I would guess that age it probably was. And because most government, purchased vehicles, especially trucks back then, they were bare minimum, so it probably was. Oh, it was a 2500 with a V10. Wow, that's cool. That's a hoss. Yeah, I mean politicians. Well, and that's a good way to put it. They are, within the industry that they're trying to bullshit. They're the politicians of lawn land, and some outside. I don't discriminate. If I find a dumbass, I'm gonna call them out. other news though, my main dude Alf. Speaking of trucks, he got a nice little newer used Ranger. When was that? Last weekend? Not this past weekend, the one before. He finally drove it to work for the first time. Is it Friday? Thursday or Friday? A couple of days after he bought it. Because he's at free will. I told him he doesn't. I said, like, dude, you don't have to drive it, but he's only 5 minutes away. Because he can take the work truck anywhere he wants to go. I was like, because I tried to convince him to save his money and just drive the work truck. But I understand wanting your peace of mind and the understanding of freedom of having your fucking vehicle. And he didn't have one. He just moved here blindly down to, live with his, because his family's down here. And no job, no nothing. And came down here and looking for a job. Yeah, they are, man. You can't kill those things. Those things will pull damn stumps, man. Yeah, that diesel is probably fairly unique. I've seen a few old South Carolina DNR ones that were diesel, and they must have been very specific for some. Probably pulling the big boats that they pull around. I would guess it was probably ones dedicated to that. Hauling shit like that around. Whereas like your mud marshals, they were probably in gassers. Would be my guess. I got a few friends that are still in DNR. We've got, Scott and I've got there's two now. No, three people we went to school with that, became DNR officers and are still there. I mean, it's a hell of a job. It's got to be a lot of fun if you're into the outdoors. That's probably one of the best jobs in the world to have. That or be up on the upper pay scale of the Forestry Service. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but you're right, man. Those old diesels weren't sneaking up on anybody. And, man, our DNR, what was it, last year? They started a few years ago. There's a couple here and there, but now all their, they had, the darker green, forest green DNR forever with the emblem on the side door. Now, they're all the South Carolina DNRs. They finally figured. I mean, green is a good camouflage, but now they're all black, and the logo is like a matte black, so it's shadowed out, so you don't know that black truck is DNR until it is right there at your ass. It's just a black pickup truck. So I'm sure people are catching on though. If you're not square and you see a black truck coming, you better just leave. Yeah, your dad worked there forever, man. There's Eric, Stephen Pop. Scott, you'll get a kick out of this, dude. Stephen Pop is a county district court judge here in Polly's now. We went to a place here. When was that? Was it Saturday? and met up and had a few beers. I hadn't seen Steven Pop in years. But he went from DNR in the ranks and was positioned as a judge right here. I'm like, damn. I'll be damned if I can get in trouble in Georgetown County anymore. I mean, I could get in trouble. I'm just going to get out of trouble in 5 minutes. I'm going to be texting his ass. But he's got wife, 2 girls. And Scott, here's the crazy thing. The crazy fucking thing, dude. He's been up here for almost 15 years. Maybe actually about 18, because he took the DNR position up here. And when Sarah and I first started looking up here in 2018, we were in negotiations, actually. We were pissed that we didn't get it because the lady was crazy. But we were in negotiations to buy the house next door to him. How odd would that have been to all these years later to move right back in next door to him? I mean, he was a couple doors down as kids, but we'd have literally been neighbors again. And I asked him about that, and he was like, oh shit. He's like, that lady never sold the house. I was like, I know, there ain't no way in hell she did. She's crazy. You've ever seen the guy on YouTube in South Alabama? He's got a big 5 or so acre pond he's built and several smaller ones feeding it. Catches them in truck. No. Shoot me a link to that on Facebook or something. That'd be interesting. Does a lot of water fishing game. Do studies with bass population. That's cool. See, that's the kind of stuff I like to watch. Shoot me a link on that, and I'll check it out. Shit like that's cool. But yeah, Scott, that would have been crazy to walk out and see Steven as a neighbor before. And he's still Steven, man. He's a good guy. And his mom passed away a couple years ago. His dad still lives right there on our street, our old street, dude. He's right there on Tallwood. Old Pops is in his 90s. Or about to be 90 something. He's up there in age. They were older when Darren was older than him, but they were definitely older parents. Because even back then, I mean, they were a good bit older. And the Bannisters too. They were much older parents than everybody else. But it was good to see him, and we're gonna make a regular thing out of it so that we keep up. He's got a son that's a couple years younger than Henley, and is it raining? And a daughter that's a senior. Shishi looks and acts like he's 90. No, we're talking about a friend's dad. Yeah, Darren's. I forget what happened to him. I meant to ask Steven, but I don't know. That's for another time, other than the first time you see somebody in years. And I know it wasn't good. I remember that it wasn't a good thing, or an I don't think it was an accident of like car accident or anything like that. Oh, Mr. Vickers. And I can't remember what it was, but and they kept pretty quiet about it too. And Mr. Scherer, remember that crazy fucker? I was telling stories about him to Alf. That's who it was. The other day. Talking about him and Mr. Burris. Because we were talking about, Alf's only 32, 33. I think he just turned 33. But you know, he grew up in kind of out in upstate New York, and even to be 20 plus years younger, he's different from most millennials in his range. They still grew up like we did, and we talk a lot about a lot of kids today, and it's like they're not even alive. I mean, all things considered, they're just existing. Accident at the port. I knew it wasn't something like a car accident or something. I knew it was something uncommon, is the word I was looking for. But we grew up, man, we had a blast. Bama Bass, I'll send you a link. Okay, cool. Because I haven't seen anything like that. But I did watch Shishi, Virgil. I think one of the biggest reasons he came back on YouTube was because he wants everybody to feel sorry for him for his shoulder surgery that he had yesterday. And I guarantee you he hasn't seen the YouTube and TikTok shit. Oh, because he's kind of in that OG Shane. He talks a lot of shit in a different way now, and but he would have damn sure found a way to bring it up, and he will when he sees it, I'm sure. When was it? Just last week. It's not about the money. It has nothing to do. It's not about products anymore. You lying motherfucker, man. You got a whole new strategy you're going after. That's all it's ever been, and that's all you ever say, or he said, is that it's not about products or money. But he was live the other night, begging for super chats. He's going to be like that priest with the Bentley. Yeah. I've saved that clip for that to use that at some point in time. You remember that? Because my original videos were comparing him to fucking Jim Baker. I mean, Joel Osteen would be a good would make sense, yes, but no. This and Benny Hinn was another one that I used on him a lot, but no, it's I don't even know who that preacher is, but it's funny as hell. Yeah, the Pop, it's a good family, man. They and he said his dad's got a caregiver that comes in every day. He said he's doing perfectly fine. It's just with his age, you just never know. Because he said that was Sunday when we met up, because he was saying Saturday that his dad went fishing out in the boat. So that he's doing fine. And it's just he's at that age to where you want somebody keeping an eye on him. He still drives, gets around, obviously goes out in the boat and everything, so. he has, a person that comes every day and hangs out with him, makes sure he's done all of his, all of his humanly duties, I guess, bathe, brush your teeth, take your meds, or you have any problems, and checks on him and all that good stuff. Yeah. And that's why I use it, because that's exactly the aura that DLT Lawn Care is trying to put out there with lawn care. That he was, that's the funny part about it. He mentioned a few weeks back about hopefully being a rep for a company. Yeah. And, but he says it's not about that, but that's all it's about. It chaps his ass that everyone he's like strongly pursued has kicked his ass to the curb. And he's such a dumbass, no one would know any different if he never brought it up. That's the thing. You got to be so braggadocious about all this stuff to make yourself look like something. and then these companies see right through your bullshit, just like I did and everybody else does. He gets pissed, goes off about it, and he wonders why people pick on him. It's like, learn to not open your mouth until something is actually going on. Isn't that the damn truth, man? Yeah, man, there's so many people. Those are most of the people that I keep up with, like actually keep up with on social media. Alan's out there on Facebook. Of course, the Insleys are, and Tate, Tracy, and Kevin. I'm trying not to say any last names, but you'll know what I'm talking about. My ninjas. Oh, the old saying that got everything stirred up. Some people are so dumb they pick on themselves and they get mad at the world, right? And that's, well, they pick on themselves and, like you said, don't even realize it. It just exposes their ignorance, and they think they're like pulling wool over people's eyes, and it's just like, you got to be dumb to believe anything this person says. Yes, we watched it last weekend, and he sat down. I've watched that. I've watched him his interview with Joe Rogan. That was weekend before last thing. And who else? Whose podcast? Oops. I'm going to look it up real quick. He was on another big podcast. Oh, Bill Maher. He did, I think it was Bill Maher. Podcasts. Podcasts are not going to be in the surfing app. Podcast. There we go. But I think Bill Maher interviewed him and dropped it this week. Yeah, Bill Maher. Yeah, this part 2 is where it goes deep. Yeah, it's actually, you could watch it on YouTube. I'm pretty sure Bill, usually he'll drop a podcast and then he'll drop the YouTube a few days later. Yep. Charlie Sheen he dropped it on, dropped the podcast 2 days ago. Technically 3, actually. And so the YouTube video, I think, is up. I think I saw that this morning. But I like old Bill, and I liked him before he decided that most Democrats had lost their fucking marbles, because he's always stayed in the middle, and I respect that. If I'm in a room, I watch YouTube 100%. If we're upstairs, a TV or whichever one, or the 40 Gordon Ramsay shows that are on. Isn't that the truth, man? Oh, that's funny. Dude, we've got cable, and I come and go with it. This in the fall is like after New Year's, I'll quit the subscription because there's just there's a lot of shows on some of that stuff, and on Paramount Plus that we watch, like the new Billy Bob Thornton show with the oil rigs and shit, that and a couple other things. And for cable, what's mostly on there, right? Walking Dead, and a few other things. And once those seasons are over, come January 1st, I watch a lot of Discovery, but usually I'll drop cable and I'll buy and then I'll just pay the $10 a month or whatever it is for Discovery Plus app, which gives you HGTV, History Channel, all the Discovery channels, anything I really want to watch or pay attention to. What comes back next month? Sorry, I went off on a couple of different things right there. Oh yeah, Landman. It hit me right when I went to go look at when I saw you type. But and then the Tulsa show with what's his face? Rocky Balboa. That's probably one of the best shows to ever exist. I thought. Now I know he's written and produced every movie we've ever seen. He has had a heavy hand in, if not the whole hand, from production to writing it and everything, which is mind-boggling. And so I thought Tulsa King would. I was like, I don't know, the mob in fucking Oklahoma. What sense does that make? I watched the first show, and I was like fucking hooked. I was like, this shit is off the charts good. Same thing with Landman. I was like, off the charts good. And I've tried my best to watch things like Yellowstone and all those that came before it, and I don't like them. It's like a soap opera, and I don't give a shit about that. That's true. You're right. Oh, you're absolutely right about that, man. And it's funny. It's like like all the old popular TV shows that people still watch, like Seinfeld or Friends or anything like that. It's funny how like Netflix will have it for like 4 or 5 months, and then they'll stop, and Hulu has it. So if you want to watch certain things, it's like, you got to go over here and buy that now. And we have Hulu and Disney for free because it's on our Verizon for free, or at least it's built in. I get ESPN. That's why I usually ditch cable after the other stuff, because like I said, between what we get for free, ESPN, Hulu, and Disney through Verizon, between that and all the History Channel, Discovery Channel, HGTV and all that shit. Between those two apps, I got everything I need. And on reruns, all you gotta do is go through Roku. You can find anything you want. Oh, dude, if you haven't watched Tulsa King, I highly suggest watching it. If you like Landman, Tulsa King is right there. Programming is crap because there's so much out there. And if you notice, look at all the major movie stars to stay relevant. They're doing Netflix movies. They're doing Hulu movies, and in a way, that's cool. But in a way, it sucks, man, because it sucks that going to a movie theater is only. There's very few things that come out now that I'm like, okay, I'm willing to go pay all that money to go see it on a big screen. Our generation, dude, every weekend some blockbuster hit came out in the movie theater for decades. And now it might be at a movie theater for 3 weeks, maybe not even that long. And then it goes straight to one of the pay apps. Telemundo. Scott subscribes to Telemundo. I forgot we have Prime too, but obviously because you get it when you have Prime. But the only thing I watched over there is they got a lot of really good car shows on Prime. So that's where I tend to gravitate for that nonsense and shenanigan work. No, but if you can find it somewhere else, watch it because it's not only is it funny, it is very realistic. And for what it is. And it's and it's very unpredictable. Right when you think you got shit figured out, it throws you a curveball. And that curveball comes like 5 minutes before the episode ends. And so it's a cliffhanger and we're on what, season 3 now? Every show it leaves you going, shit, what's gonna happen tomorrow? Or the next show. Sesame Street. Dude, Sesame Street's been promoting the fuck out of itself recently, which is good. Down at Fraggle Rock. Have we discussed this? There's new Fraggle Rocks. They came back about 2 years ago. Dude, you're exactly right. Every movie that's making money is a remake. Yeah, almost every fucking one of them is a redo. Oh, I've watched Reacher. I got into it for a while, but I haven't watched it in a hot minute. Yeah, see that's and Breaking Bad got to that point to me too. Breaking Bad, when it first came out, it was awesome, and then it just kind of I fizzled out somewhere about halfway through. Yeah, I do too, man. But like Prime and YouTube is where I just deep dive into cars. I'm looking at another Triumph, Scott. I was looking at it before this started, man. TR6. I'm not gonna make a move on it. There's 2 of them for sale around here, and I can't not keep looking at them though. I go back to original conversation. I got to get another truck into the business before I do anything, and I've got to get a tractor that can. There's reasons I don't use skid steers for landscaping, because if I want to send the tractor out for a mulch install, use a skid steer going through somebody's lawn, you're gonna fuck it up. A tractor with turf tires ain't no big deal. Plus, you can put any implement on the 3-point, which is box blade, and most importantly, a tiller on the back end of it for prepping for sod and anything else really, and a bucket that's big that can lift some shit in the front. It's much more applicable to the industry than a skid steer ever will be. But most people go to skid steers because they think that's what they gotta have. And it's just not true. And it inhibits you from doing certain things and using it to its maximum potential. I say tractor because, again, if I need to pull an ornamental tree or some shrubs out of somebody's yard without fear of tearing up their grass and having to replace it, or having to tell them it's X amount of dollars more because I got to replace 2 pallets of sod to do this job because XYZ, I don't have to do that. But turf tires on a tractor, job done. Yeah, TR4s and TR250s are, but they're hard to come by. Usually, if you see them now, they are either rusted out pieces of shit with trees growing through them, or they're fucking pristine and won't weigh too much money. They're trailer queens, and they should be, But I want something that's in good shape, represents itself well, and drive it on Saturdays. Big old 4100. Dude, there's that. I've learned when it comes to trucks like that, dump trucks and things like that, North Carolina as a whole is where you look for old fucking trucks with almost 0 miles on them, all things considered, because you can find anything from the 70s and 80s, might have 60,000 miles on it. They're selling it, because their grandpa's farm that, nobody, they stopped farming because they stopped growing tobacco or whatever. Dude, you could pick them up for $3,000 or $4,000. And that was going to be a priority move earlier this year, but I bought a dump trailer, which it was making a little more sense at the time. But like a 3500 is with a dump bed on the back is what I'm aiming for after the new truck purchase. The Miata, man. Oh man, that thing was a blast in Savannah, man. I had so much fun on that, man. I'd like to go to that again. I remember just watching the Marlboro car, man. 2 minutes go by, come around the fucking straight into the pit area again. That car was fast as shit. Yeah, they the truck drivers know they can cut through. It's the hospital here is in the nucleus of 3 neighborhoods. And so one of the main roads, obviously you have to have a pretty good, decent main road where the hospital's on. And a lot of the truck drivers will cut through there, and it goes right around back over here on the far side of my property. And it's over there, but those big rigs, man, when they're gassing down, because the light's over here on the other side of the property too. So when they come out and there's no insulation on this thing, it sounds like like they're gonna run you over. But man, there were so many cars to see at that Savannah show, man. God Almighty, man, that I'll never forget that, because I liked it because there wasn't like, most car shows, it's like got a specialty thing. Like, it's BMW or it's Porsche or it's, or it's Triumph Specialties or the Miata people or something. Dude, that show, it was just everything fucking cool. Oh, that's cool. I do, I guess you could say, in vicarious ways, like, you know, YouTube. I got an old early 70s GMC dump with a big block Chevy. Yep. Damn. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. CCA. See, Beardus, damn, Beardus in there. Look at that. Scott, you still a CCA member? Dude, and every time, man, I do my, yeah, IMSA. Every now and again, man, I'll see an O2. Those things are bringing ridiculous money now, man. God. I could kick myself in the foot for letting Dallas have mine. I mean, I got paid for it, but I should have kept that thing, man. I definitely should have kept that O2. But, you know, I was looking to eventually step to a 3.0, which, Jesus, you better own a lot of money to get a fucking 3.0 these days. They were expensive back then. I don't think they've ever been off the path and lost, you know, or much value. Or what was it? The 323, not Alpha, Alpina with the T-tops. I'd love to find one of those fucking things. Yeah, if they didn't rust, that's true. Who's that lady? Pretty damn good looking little cougar too. Had one that lived, was it on John's Island? Somewhere over in that direction. But I saw somewhere. It's been sometime in the early part of this year. I saw a 323 with factory T-tops, or whatever you call that. Yeah, they are stupid sick money. Targa top. That's what I'm trying to spit out. But some of them did have T-tops, didn't they? Didn't they, Scott? I think some were T-tops and some were Targa. But and I saw it, and it was insane money. But that thing, man, they had that thing blueprinted from bumper to bumper. It was probably worth every dime they were asking for it. I'd have just been scared to drive it. I'd have been scared of what happened if I came home with that thing and said how much I paid for it too. When I was in school, they used to hold events at our high school parking lot. It builds and maintains Vipers for a guy that... Man, Vipers, man, those are some sick rides too. That have stupid money. Dude, did any of y'all watch Dennis Collins' latest video with the new Mustangs that they've come out with? Holy shit. Oh my God. I wonder what those things are going to cost. Yeah, Targa. That's what I thought. But I could swear that there was a green one somewhere in West Ashley that was T-top. No, dude. No, man. Hold on. Let me see if I. Go watch Dennis Collins' Coffee Talk. Go watch this past Friday's video. I don't even want to spoil it for you. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. I can tell you what truck that is. That's a General Foods truck. Because they come through almost every time from the hospital this time. But you hear more fan than anything else. I don't know what it is about the trucks that General Foods or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what brand it is, but there's more fan than anything else. Yes, yeah. Go watch his latest Coffee Walk video. That shit'll blow your mind. Those cars will be for sadly they'll be for the select few, but rightfully so at the same time. They are using the GTR as their base, yes. But it's all new Shelby shit. I mean, it's all custom rear end, or at least the gears, custom suspension, custom supercharger. I mean, it's. That's where I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna talk too much, and those things are fucking wicked bad, man. Are they? Maybe it is that the GTD is their base. But I was thinking, go watch. I'm pretty sure it's the R though. Because it's the 350, which my neighbor has one right across the street. Scott, you'd have a field day in his garage. Porsches and Mustangs, man. Pretty cool garage and dude to have across the street. Worked at the Pentagon for his whole life. No. Those things are fucking, those things are sick, dude. I mean, it's just, it is crazy what they're doing with those cars. And I wasn't expecting that for his, I guess I wouldn't expect it because I didn't know they were doing it. But when when the video starts and he's outside of the building there, I'm like, oh damn. It is GTD, okay. Because I've been looking for, well, I've been trying to tell myself to remember, and actually I should probably do it right here, to actually let's do it. Let me get on this so I can watch it when we're done talking. Um, caps lock GTD. Oh, come on. My keyboard was turned off. Come on, turn on. Now, my search is saying that Float Dizzle has a new video out. Oh, the Dark Horse isn't even close to the GTD, but go look at what they're doing. The GTD ain't even shit after they finish with it. Shelby fucking is doing some crazy shit, man. Oh my god, let me just GTD at Newbury. There we go. Yeah, it is the GTD that they're using for sure. Oh, did he? It's probably a clip from the main video on Friday. But the like the front quarter panels, they're all carbon fiber, under 2 pounds. It's ridiculous, man. All the aluminum. And one of the engineers there said that there's actually there's a new alloy that they're testing now that that may kind of take over where carbon fiber has gone in the car industry, which is wild to think of. Yeah, and I've been wondering, that was a gray area when they stopped making the Mustang. I mean, the Mustang, the Camaro. I was like, why are they still allowed to do all that? I was like, I tried. I mean, I like NASCAR. It's just I'm trying to figure out what in the fuck they're doing, man. It's like, I don't know. There's just there's a lot of dust right now that even a lot of NASCAR people are bringing up on their YouTube channels. That needs to settle. I said it back as a kid. I'm like, and I understood the rule, but it was dumb. It's like, because, Ford went through hell to get the Mustang in. And the Corvette, the Corvette, in my opinion, the Corvette doesn't exist anymore. They took that badge and transplanted it over to that thing they call a Corvette now. They should have. I don't knock that car at all, but they should have never called it the Corvette, ever. When they went to that mid-engine, they should have just. They should have just brought the Corvair back. That is not a fucking Corvette. Yeah, the stages and whatnot. Yeah, see that right there, bouncing around the networks pisses me off. But I gotta say, I don't. That's not a Corvette, man. I don't care what anybody says. It's not. You can put that badge on it all fucking day long. Yeah, exactly, Beers. I said they might as well called it the Corvair. I mean, at least there'd have been some drivetrain resemblance in that thing. The undercarriage would have spoken more to the current car. And they should have kept the Corvette like it is. Okay, you build a cheap supercar. Keep the Corvette. Bring on cheap supercar. Oh, the C7 fucking Stingrays were fucking badass, dude. That was, I mean, as far as anything, from 84 forward, the C7 was the best looking vet by far. Hands down. That's where I was dumbfounded. I was like, you finally get back around to something that people are going to look back at in 50 years and go, that's badass. And it was badass the day it came off of the production line. It is one of the few things, especially in cars, that people will look back on in 50 years and highly applaud that car. And then they just say, fuck it, we're going to make this monstrosity. Because we want people to feel like they're in the wheelhouse of Ferrari and Lamborghini. Lamborghini's a piece of shit anyway. I've never liked Lamborghini. Well, I take that back. The Countach was really cool after that, and anything earlier. Because there was some sophistication to them. But after the Countach, fuck them. Right? That's why, I mean, dude, when I've got a Coyote in mind, it's long bed. And first thing Al said was, let's put a supercharger on this bitch and drop it to the ground. Because that fucking, it just natural aspiration. That fucking motor's got some fucking punch, dude. I mean, I put it in tow mode with a fucking trailer loaded down with 3 piles of sod, and that fucking thing goes zoom. It's gone. But the bad thing about this is that was a closely guarded little secret that social media blasted out, you know. And now a short bed fucking XL with a fucking with a Coyote in it, you go pay. The C8's ugly as shit though, dude. It's fucking ugly. It's ridiculous. I don't know of trying to think of, I mean, I don't like the front clip on the new Mustangs. I don't. And that's why, and Ford has actually admitted that their sales are struggling. I don't think it's bad. It just got a little too edgy for me. I think they needed to step back, and they are stepping back. For 2026, they're actually giving some nods to the Fox body. So it'll be interesting to see the next body style. Oh yeah, yep. reptilian style. Yeah, that's right, right. Dude, I mean, like it was out. That styling was outdated in the early '80s, and Chevy butchered that styling with the Corvette anyway. With that chiseled but rounded look. And what gets me about the Corvette now more than anything is you see the base models of those Corvettes and they look like Chinese knockoffs of Hot Wheel cars. You know where I'm going? Y'all know what I'm saying. You know what I'm trying to say there. And it's like, if it's going to be a supercar, let it be a supercar. But you could buy this dumbed down, cheap Chinese Matchbox Hot Wheels knockoff look-alike thing. And it's like, why? Why would you offer that? If you're getting a Corvette, there doesn't need to be stepping stones. I mean, maybe you can have horsepower variants, but keep it on the upper end, at least, Chevy. And don't dumb down the outside. You know, it just, I don't know. Oh, yeah, the Godzilla. I forgot about that thing. Yeah. That's why I was glad I got mine, man. It because those motors shit and get. They're good. Oh shit, I missed something. Hush your mouth. My favorite car is a Lamborghini. How'd I miss that? You can't beat the Lambo V10. No, you're right. You're right. I just the big problem I have with Lamborghini is its customer base these days, and has been for 30 years. It's just new cheesy money tends to gravitate over there to those things, which the same can be said for the Vet, oddly. Or you know, in the Corvette, it's either flashy new money trying to look like something, or somebody that's got 9 toes in a coffin driving them. Horsepower Nation has done a LS versus Coyote for several years. They've always let the LS side make 427 cubic inch and the Coyote 300 cubic inch. Well, oh, this year they made GM use the 5.3. Huh. Yep. I didn't know the bottom end of that though. I just oh, there you go. Lamborghini was never a driver's car. No. And that's true. But you know, after the Countach, they went off into some weird world, and it attracted only weird people. And that's part of my hang-up with it. Where before, there was some sophistication that came with the Lamborghini. And right in the early 80s, it went out the window. And it's just like it's like nowadays, and for a couple of decades now, you know, you see all the Rolls-Royce Phantoms and all those kind of cars, the Bentleys. You on the coast here, you see a good bit of them. There's a bunch of them in the neighborhood right over here. See them all the time. And what gets me is people are personally driving them. Dude, if I own a Rolls Royce or a Bentley, somebody is driving my ass around 24/7. That is not a driver's car. That is a car that you get driven around in. And I don't understand it. Like, why do you buy that car to drive it? I mean, if I ever came into a shitload of cash, I would go back old school. I'd have my little sports car collection. But I would have a new, possibly even an old, or just the old Rolls or Bentley or something. And I'd have a driver. I'd have my 24/7 Uber dude. He'd be my butler too. There is that. That is true. The Aventador. Now they're serious drivers, CRS, that make the only true. Yep. That should be. That's how I'm going out, man. I'm gonna be. Didn't you know the movie Arthur? I think there was a second one, if I remember correctly. But I'm gonna be the sequel or the trilogy to that movie. It's gonna be Driving Dirty. I'm gonna be somewhere between Driving Miss Daisy and Arthur. Just put those two together. You know, the wild guy and the crotchety old person. That is me to a T. I could split that fucking lane between Arthur and Driving Miss Daisy. I could easily split the lane on those movies. I wouldn't. I mean, that's something I've held into my thoughts for a while. But that's not a new thing to me. That and I'd have a plane. I wouldn't fly the motherfucker. But I'd have a pilot, or I'd have a plane and lease the pilot or whatever. I don't give a fuck about having a big ass fucking McMansion somewhere. Nothing like nope. Give me 3, 4, 1,200 square foot homes or villas or whatever, and the 3 or 4 spots in the world that I want to visit, and that's all I'm doing. I don't give a shit about nothing else. Fuck them. Dude, it's funny as hell that you say that. Do you know that we have a Volkswagen? I can't remember if I brought up in your presence or not, but Sarah's got a 2016 Bug. And convertible. Cool as shit. And I like the vibe. Speaking of that, one of the dealerships up here has a 67 VW Bug for sale. It's been somebody's done it right too, and best I can tell from the pictures, it's beefy. She's beefy for the dub. But I tell you what, when she told me she wanted that car, I went up there and bought it. And they had, because it's the same people have the Nissan dealership and the Cadillac dealership, and they're side by side. Anyway, we were at the Chevy side, and it was pretty easy because I bought the Armada and another truck from them, so this is our third purchase in there, and it was just going through the motions. But it was late at night, and they had the Cadillacs in the showroom there. Holy shit, dude! I was like, if I did not need a truck, I thought I would never say this in my lifetime, but I am. I would own one of those Cadillacs like that. And if I was in the market for another SUV, I know we're slipping down into the GMC transmission and issues that they've had, and motor issues they've had, but I would probably buy a Cadillac SUV. They have done a phenomenal, dude. They outclass, and every BMW and Audi and everything else that used to be kings of that market. Somehow Cadillac in the past 2 years went squash. Because look at BMW now ain't worth a shit. Dude, those cars, they were the ultimate driving machine. They were very well-rounded cars for doing any kind of driver stuff. Now they suck. Now they're just another, in my opinion, I mean, the motors are great, but they might as well be a Camry. There's no styling to them anymore. There's nothing that stands out unless you get into the M4s and M5s and M3, any of the M's. But even then, they're going to the youth driven with these fucked up colors and shit, and they lose their class a little bit. So fuck BMW. Audi is hanging on, but Cadillac, it just all of a sudden showed up one day, like 2 years ago, and said, we'll have this market, thank you very much. Let's go back to Corvette talk. Okay. You can't take a rear engine, rear transaxle, air-cooled, flat 4-engine car and make it a front engine, automatic trans, front-wheel drive version and call it a bug. No. You're right. That's why I personally would never own one of the new ones. Because I tried to talk her into getting an old one. I was like, you'll never have to buy another one. And the only reason she wouldn't is because she didn't want to learn to drive a stick shift again. She learned how to drive one when she was a teenager, hasn't driven one since, and has attempted to in recent times and just can't. And I was like, it will take you a day, if that, to get back into the rhythm. And she won't do it. And so she wanted that one. It's not my driver, I don't care. But that said, those things are punchy as shit, dude. No pun intended, punch buggy. But she made me drive that thing to go out to eat a few weeks ago. And I was like, this thing is actually a lot of fun to drive. A whole lot of fun. But because it's front engine, I was out. Yep, you're right. And that's for those that's everybody really. And BMW bit on it, which was surprising. You know, BMW doesn't have a spine anymore. They don't. Audi's spine has arthritis. And Cadillac is the standing tall sedan. I didn't think I'd ever see that. I mean, the CTSs and stuff, but, you know, now Cadillac is a whole package. It's just got class. It's got style. You know, it's something cool to own. Where BMW, you literally you got to step in to a real M. And that there's the other thing with BMW. Now there's M packages. There's M appearance packages. What the fuck, BMW? Really? You're going to dumb down one of the best branded, best running, best driving cars that has ever hit the fucking planet, especially when it comes to a damn sedan or coupe. And now you're going to make your M brand an appearance package availability? Fucking retarded. That's what killed him right there. And it was a goddamned American of all things. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yeah, the appearance. And that's true. But it's also a rich man's VW. No. Are they even making they still make the GTIs? I don't think they do. I could be completely wrong. I haven't looked and I don't see any on the road. But I'm curious to see what happens with Scout. Very curious to see what Volkswagen does with Scout. Oh, dude, I sat in one of those. Those Escalades are fucking crazy. Like I said, if I was looking to get another SUV, I would go straight to the Chevy Cadillac dealership over here, and I'd buy me a fucking Escalade in a heartbeat. Those things. The front end takes a little bit of getting used to than on the new ones, but it's so edgy. I like it. Because that's what Cadillac, I mean, even when Cadillac back in its day, like especially in the 60s, for most cars anyway, that was the appeal, is they were trying to be futuristic, mission to the moon shit. And Cadillac has gone back to that with every vehicle. I don't know who's over there who controls that part of GM now, but they're doing a great job. And I think GM, as far as styling goes, they're doing a good job overall. It's just some of it ain't worth a shit. Yeah, Bugatti too. I forgot about that. You're right. Totally forgot about Bugatti. That's never a brand. I mean, when I see them like go by or like a car show stuff, it's like, damn, that's a cool looking car. And but it's not a car that like stays on my radar for any reason at all. That brand would have never come out my mouth tonight if you didn't bring it up. Lotus is another one. But another car I'd love to have that I've been trying to find, that if it popped up, I probably would go get in a heartbeat, is a really good Alfa Romeo. That's an oxymoron. But an old school Alfa, I'd probably be on top of it. GM Cadillac has had a lockdown on big, comfy. Yeah. No, and Ford tries their styling with the SUV on the Expedition since 2000, when they changed the styling actually after they quit making the Expedition. That styling was fucking awesome. And the minute they changed from that, the Ford SUV full size has looked dumpy next to a Suburban or a Cadillac. And I think they've done it again with the trucks. That soft front end that Ford F-150s have right now with that big LED light in there. And the funny thing is, what's it been 5-6 years now with Chevy's modern front end? I thought that was hideous as shit when it first came out. Now I like it. I like it a lot more than I like Ford's front end. No, it doesn't. But damn, those things are so much fun to drive, man. Those cars are so fucking fun to drive. So's a Saab. Well, before they sold themselves to the devil, and the devil did them in. But Saabs are just so fucking. They got pep. They were smooth, with that. And I love the fucking doorstop body style. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But it also, like I said, it looks mousy compared to it. It always, and it has, since they stopped making the excursion and went to that toned down body style, and to me they've been plagued by it ever since. I mean, they do make a full size, but it's a limited, and it's called an L because for long, it is the true full size one. But no, you got a good point there. Yeah, they're cool, especially, and the convertible ones on that were really cool. And I don't know why or how I never wound up buying one, but I haven't. And I've driven a bunch of them because I've known people that owned them and dated a couple chicks that drove them, and it was just, I don't know, they were just. And all the analog shit down the center console, there's a million buttons for everything. That's what made the 300Z so cool. When the 300 first came out with Nissan, it was all the futuristic fucking computer buttons. Just, I don't know. The interior is very well done, and made you want to fuck with it. All right, man. Tracker, what's up, Tracker? And they were cool, but girl I dated in high school, Debbie, Scott, she had an Alpha for a while. Had a Volkswagen Bug, then an Alpha, and that Alpha was fucking cool as shit, man. It was just, I don't know. There's something about those Alphas that I just really, really like. And the Pina version of some of the other Alpha. I can't remember. Scott, you probably know the body styles of those, though. The sedans, or the sedans or coupes. Oh, God. Trying to remember some of the other body styles that were not as popular, but a lot more, even more fun than the popular convertibles. The hell were they called? Matter of fact, wasn't there a guy on Johns Island down the street from the shop that had one sitting up at his house? What the fuck was that thing called, Scott? Please tell me you remember this. I think it was white. What was? Let's go to the Googles. 00. Let's see. EDDM, I don't need you right now. I'm going to try doing some more EDDM cards for advertising soon. So historically, Alpha, yeah, and historically, they've got a hell of a footprint in the world, especially what was it, late '60s ish. GTA, thank you. Yes, I don't know why I couldn't spit that out. That is it. For those hanging out, actually, let's do this. Come on. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Let's do a screen share here. Oops, not what I want. The guy, how do you say? I butcher that name all the time, but yeah, that's another one. Or it's the guy at GTA. Anyway, the 1600. I think it's 1600. Share screen. Why isn't it sharing? Oh, I got to do this. That one. Wasn't there a white one? Near the shop that somebody had? And it was parked. It wasn't like we saw it on the street or anything. It was just like jammed up beside the house. I can swear that was down by your shop. I would even consider a new one. People talk shit about them, but I'd probably roll the dice on it. But that right there, dude, if I ever saw one of those fuckers pop up, I'm going to get it. I don't care if I got to get mortgage on the house. I'm going to get one. I'm sure you can find them for sale. I mean, some of these that are on here might be. But I mean, like within quick driving distance, if I see one, oh, I'm going to get it. That's gonna be the bitch in the garage. For sure. I love those things, man. I don't know what it is. It always, like, even like the O2s, you know, it's that there's a common body style, and I think I just love the unsuspectingness of those cars. You know, they aren't. It's like the O2. You know, you had the TII, and then you had the race version of that, so to speak, that you could, you know, that had limited production that you could buy from factory. Which, in my opinion, were basically the first M's. And then, I don't know. There's just something about the sedans and stuff that you know, people call, you know, everybody else a sports car, and traditionally there are a European sports car, but Americans won't consider them that, you know, but I do, and you know, it's like, maybe it was blue. Was it possibly light blue? Yeah, the Stellanti. And I was standing out there and racking my brain trying to remember the old movie. Hold on, I gotta move my microphone. So, oh god damn it. Yeah, they've owned them for a while. Uh, and they and that's everybody's complaint. I think I don't know how they actually stand up. Um, there, I see quite a few of the SUVs around here, or the crossovers. I would say, given their size, they're more of a crossover. But they're beautiful looking cars. Uh, I don't know what their uh, overall long-term quality is, though. I know, dude. I'm trying to remember what the fuck the name of that movie was. I can't remember to save my fucking life. Well, because Richard Pryor, man. I mean, he would have all-time favorite fucking movie stars and comedians. Dude, Richard Pryor's like in my top 3. He's definitely would teeter in the 1-2. Yeah, the O2 turbos, man. But it's even the Volkswagen Bug. You could take it. You spend a weekend and $300, and that car has completely changed its disposition in life. Even today, okay, $1,000. That is a completely different car. It might not outrun the Vet or any BMW or anything in the quarter fucking mile, but it'll outhandle them. Dude, you take those cars in the windy roads of the fucking mountains or any real racetrack, as I'd like to call them. These cars aren't gonna hold candles to them, not even fucking close. And it's a fucking sedan. With the ANSA exhaust on it. Yes, sir. Put some Coney adjustables on there. Fucking put a Weber on there. Dude, you give me some curvy roads, I'm going to beat your fucking Mustang all day long. A Barth. Ha. Vauxhall. I haven't heard that name in a long time. We never had any Vauxhalls in the States, though, did we? Or were they rebranded as something else at some point? Some Citroens made it over here. I don't know if they were directly imported for sale or if some people imported them coming back from the military or something, but you'd see those around. We've been in the woods and have rebuilt. Yeah. I mean, that's common Volkswagen life right there. Scott could attest to it. Yeah, it's well, it's also in it this shit. Monte Carlo, is that what I'm trying to think of? I know there's a common body style with like the SS, one of the SS models. Current or modern day, not current, but modern day. That has since been stamped out by GM. Like I said, man, if I wasn't trying to keep saving to I mean, if I found the truck I wanted, I'd buy it tomorrow. I'd have bought it 3 months ago. It's just at the price they're at, even with the deals and the deals that are even big, getting bigger and bigger. I'm still being very picky because dude, you're still standing strong. I don't care what you buy, in my opinion, compared to what you could get just fucking 4 years ago. If I wouldn't in need to get another truck in the lineup, I'd go buy that fucking Bug that's up there. Like I said, it's 67. It's black and kind of like a deep red down the middle. You know, where the nose comes into a V over the front bonnet, and it goes out like that, and then it, you know, kind of goes to the edges of the quarter panels or fenders and goes over the whole hood, and it goes back into a V down the trunk lid. That eye-shaped section is like a deep red. The rest of it's black. It's got 8 spokes on it, lowered. I don't know what engine's in there. I've seen pictures of it, but I don't know exactly what they've done to it. But it's slick. Yeah, Beardus Eric. Scott had a Carmen Ghia, man. And that thing, man, that was a beautiful ride. You talk about something else that's expensive if you get your hands on a decent one now. There's a guy, sometime back, I went, and, well, I didn't directly, instinctively go to look at that car. But it was one exactly like yours. And it was for sale on Marketplace. And I was going up on the south end or north side of Surfside, right before you get into south side of Myrtle Beach, in the Garden City area there. And I saw the car in the Kroger parking lot. And I was like, that's got to be the same car. And I pulled up in there. And again, it's that baby powder blue, black interior. I think it actually had houndstooth on the seat. And like black and white. And then gray alloy 8 spokes, and beautiful freaking ride, man. And he had spent, God, he came out and I talked to him for a little bit. He had spent insane money. I mean, that whole car was blown apart. They did that ice thing, you know, the icing they do to get all the shit off of the undercarriage and everything. And stripped the whole car down to read. It was basically brand fucking new, and it was beautiful. Yeah, that's the hurdle, because no matter what I get into new, there's gonna be an issue. Like I said, if it lasts me 2 years, I don't care, because once I've exhausted the depreciation on taxes, I'm gonna get something else. I've always done it. And always will. I've actually had that Armada because it was just, I rarely drive it. And I bought it specifically so that I hopefully would try not to do much work. And then here we are. But I've had it 3 years. I don't know that I've put 25,000. No, it actually, it's a lie. I haven't quite put 30,000 miles on it, which may sound strong for some people, but that's barely any. Considering I spend a lot of time going from here to Andrews part of the world, you know, I drive 5 hours to a destination on a regular basis. That's all it really does, is it gets on the interstate and drives to the North Carolina, South Carolina border and back. That's what I stand on. You're exactly right. And the only reason I'm looking at new and used right now, because, like I said, there's a lot of incentives on both ends. Number one, I've always been buy a 2 or 3 year old vehicle person, max. You know, find something coming off lease that's in good shape, maybe even can be certified or is certified, and roll from there. and that's mostly what I've always done. But now, with interest rates, even with really good credit being still a wee bit elevated, I can also write off that interest along it with depreciating the vehicle. So, and like I said, doing the math, it's nothing I'm stuck on. But if I find the right deal and they keep dropping these prices or having these massive rebates come along and get bigger, I'll jump. Pastel blue. And they have for years, really. Um, it's like when well, before when the landscape business was in Charleston, you know, having to haul some decent sized equipment around, but also mostly for the forestry mulchers, you know, um, had a 3500 and a couple F250s, but I swapped them out all the fucking time, and there was no need to buy a new one, even if it wasn't being put into operation within the business, but tax purposes it was, you know what I'm saying? And I still wouldn't buy one new. I mean, I bought 10 fucking trucks in 8 years at Ravenel Ford. I think I've bought 13 from them overall. But because I'd swap. Dude, once it's depreciated, go get a new one. I had the same salesman the whole fucking time. He just retired last year. And I mean, he'd been there for 20 something years. And oddly enough, most of the salesmen that are my age and younger have been there forever too. They don't lose anybody because they're really good. They own a Chevy dealership and a Ford dealership in Charleston on the south end, and both of them are small. And at one point in time, they were way out in the middle of the fucking country, but Charleston grew down to them to a degree. Anyway, I would just call up Charles, and there was plenty of times that he called me and go, "Haven't seen you in about 18 months, except for in the service room, and I know you're about to start looking, and we got ABC, you know, here." And all right, let me come look at it. And in that process, there was only one truck, and that was a light duty F-150 that I bought from them. It was brand new. And the reason I did it though is because I needed another truck. It didn't need to haul any of the heavy equipment or heavier equipment around. And I had said something to Charles about possibly, and Mr. Marching, or Mrs. Marching, about looking at an F-150. And about 3 months go by, and Charles calls me. He goes, "Dude, I got the deal of deals." And I think it was Santee Cooper, which is our electric company around here, ordered several trucks. They were XLs. Plain Jane on the outside, white work truck with the steel rims, base tires, but four-wheel drive, and on the inside had every option available except for it had vinyl seats and rubber floors. But everything else, short of a sunroof, it had powered back glass. You know, the middle window. And everything that you could have on a dashboard was there. Power seats on the vinyls and everything. He said, "We can't sell this thing. It's been sitting here for months because anybody looking for this package doesn't want a base looking truck on the outside. They want every bell and whistle." That truck sticker MSRP was 34.6 if I remember correctly. It's 34, it's just over 34.5. And they're very honest about their MSRPs over there. I bought it for 23.5. I was like, I'll fucking take it. That was a deal. I was rambling. What'd you say today? I bought my truck in 2009. It was a 2007 Ram Quad Cup Laramie with heat, every option possible besides a sunroof. It had 24,000 miles and paid Wow, see? Yep. I remember, what was it in 2000? What year was it that they came out where they actually switched the 2500 over to what basically every modern truck is designed behind now, was, the Dodge Ram body style. Was that 99 or 2000? I can't remember. But anyway, one of my good friends, David, because it lulled for the 2500 for the next year or even 2 years out before they switched over to that new era of body style. And when they did, a friend of mine, David, bought one. Dude, black, ordered it from fucking they put the roll cage, not the roll cage, but the roll bar. It was a triple bar set, and real steel, not this cheap look at me, it's aluminum or tinfoil. But KC fog lights on it, had the brush guard up front, black, fucking jacked up, you know which models I'm talking about. Those things were fucking beast with that fucking diesel in it. Oh my God, man. That Cummins with a 5-speed, that truck was badass, and he totaled that motherfucker. It was like 5 years later, but that was like, he was like, I will never get rid of this truck. There would never be a reason to get rid of this fucking truck. And he was going through town one day, and a fucking car ran a red light and literally caught the front wheels and went up under that fucking truck, dude. Fucking totaled it. He was devastated. Yeah, that's what his had. His had every fucking thing known to mankind with that Cummins turbo and a fucking 5-speed. Dude, I don't think there has ever been a more powerful one than that one. That year range. Yeah, 02. There you go. Thank you for the info. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what stopped me from actually. That's why one of the big reasons why I bought a. I need to jump off here a second. Why I bought a dump truck or dump trailer instead of a dump truck or any larger, because I want some older ones, because I want it for branding. I want that. I'm not Mr. AI. We use a lot of technology here. I mean, I've got my phone, the iPad, and the computer right here, and a lot of software and apps. Not a lot, but everything's run off of a fucking app and the click of a button stuff where it makes sense for me, right? And it makes sense to where I can use something where Walt can log in from his office. We don't have to. It's very rare that I have to take shit to him, and I can give people instant quotes. It all makes sense. I don't have to go back home and do anything anymore unless it's for full design and all that shit. That'll never change. I don't. But on that set, I don't even use. That's a lie. I very rarely use computer-based design software. And even if I use it, I still hand draw everything, because that's my touch. People look for that, and it's a signature. And I'm trying to keep an old school look because people respond to that. People are responding more to communication now than they ever have, because it's rare that they get it. I as the communicator am the lone horse out here. People just want to send them a quote on an app or text it to them real quick. I still show up at the door, and that's how I don't not get a job. I'm there to talk to them in person. Boom, got it. And they see like the 72 Chevy and all that stuff. They see that, it was like, oh wow, it got so much of a buzz. I hated moving that on, but I had to. My dad's truck that I got in 02 2500, and it's still at the older second gen. Yep. Yeah, and those, like, I love like the 70s power wagons and trucks, man. They were, you could just, I mean, I like all those truck brands from then, because you knew what that truck was. It even the cars back then, even though the styling of American cars in the 70s was just sinfully fucking ugly. But you could tell everything from dude, it could be pitch black dark outside, and there was a point in time when you could see the headlights come around the corner from 2 miles away. I could tell you what that car or truck was. You can't do that anymore. You could tell what a car or truck was back then just by the way the headlights looked, whether they were square around and where the marker lights were positioned and stuff. Once they got into decent vision from even still way off, you could tell exactly what the fuck it was. No. And I don't know why GM only has like the electric version of that now. I mean, that was a dumb move on. I get the marketing stunt. I get it. But now they're catching hell moving them. And it's just like with Tesla, the Cybertruck. They're catching hell moving them because they were a novelty. They need to put a fuel-consuming engine in that Hummer if they want to keep it around. Yeah, and I never understood why they. I mean, I never really understood why that was a needed split. Or necessary split, I should say. Yeah, those little H3s were tiny, man. I passed one of those yesterday, actually. I was like, wow, it's shocking that one of those are still rambling around. But it is. And looked decent too. It wasn't a chitty bang bang. It had been loved, obviously. But it's like, even with the dude, I've even looked at like the Jeep Gladiators here recently because but again, I'm just scared of the trouble that come from that. Although we had a 2016 Jeep that I kind of didn't want to trade it in. I just wanted to, let's just go get the Volkswagen. Which that's what, let me tell the story. She wanted to trade it in and get that Volkswagen because she didn't want yet another vehicle in the driveway, if anything. Because I was needing more space, but we could have used that and I wasn't thinking properly at the time. Otherwise, I'd have stood tall on this argument. but now it's come back to bite me on the ass. It was what we traveled it in a good bit too, because we could fit all the dogs and us in it and go. Worst case scenario is we put one of the custom luggage rack things on the roof and shit and get. Now that she has a Volkswagen Bug, this is the big hindrance on the truck, is if getting rid of the Armada, I've got to have a truck that now what my truck will be used for on this new one will be limited. I'm not in the field much. I'm not at all. Even with Alf and some part times, I have it, run with it, go. See you later. I went with Alf today on a quick little install job because there was nothing else to do. And I didn't even do anything. I just wanted to go out there and I rode out there with him, and I literally sat in the truck with my iPad and made my advertisement video for the day. But anyway, that truck, I'm getting off topic. My truck is also going to have to be the traveling vehicle. So I can't just go get a single cab or an extra cab, 4-wheel drive, base, and call it done. I don't care if it's base model. I mean, even just like a standard 4-wheel drive work truck that's a real work truck doesn't bother me. But again, they're hard to find. But still, you're standing tall as shit on buying one of those. And it's like, God almighty, man, I've got to have all this truck because this truck has to be able to put 2 adults, 2 children, 2 dogs in the motherfucker. Because since you traded it, the Armada is the king of travel with family. And whatever I replace it with will have to be the travels with family. Oh, geez, man. Yeah, those things. I just noticed that a minute ago. They're going to do lawn maintenance tomorrow. I have nothing to do with it, so fuck them. I'll spend a few more minutes. But that iOS, when they first came out, of course, there was a lot of people jumping on them. The Volkswagen dealership up here, man, they'd show up, they'd disappear. Now you drive past a dealership and there's like 6 of them lined up. Again, stick a combustion in that motherfucker, or make them hybrid. Make them a fucking hybrid. Hybrid is going to win this game. I think all combustion will phase out, but to hybrid. I don't think all electric wins. All electric failed the first time. Us car nuts know what I'm talking about. The very first were electric. They got beat. There's too much money in combustion for it to go anywhere. And it just makes the most sense to use. Yeah, and like I said, and I've got to have now I've always had 4-door trucks, but the difference in them price wise now, I say always. I mean since 2002. And for a while, I wish to hell I could make life work in a Toyota Tacoma, because that, hands down, favorite truck. It's hard as shit to find a Tundra. If you do, you're going to pay up for it. And I probably would. You just can't find them. People are harboring the shit out of those things. And new, I wouldn't pay Tundra's new price, not for that little fucking engine that's in there. Yeah, all electric will forever fail. And that's a very valid point for it. Those are the points. But I wish I could fit my life in a Tacoma still. Because of that damn Volkswagen Bug, I can't. I think hybrid wins. I think it does. There's no reason for it not to. It's like, well, here's a kicker. This is something funny, and it's kind of dumb. I don't know why they did this, but I would think it's because they're going to eventually go hybrid with them, and that's the Scout. The Scout is not all electric. They have gas generators on board to increase your mileage up to 500 miles. In a sense, it's a different kind of hybrid. But I think what they're going to do is, I think Volkswagen looked down that rabbit hole and said to themselves, electric does not win. But if we make this really cool, if we buy this nostalgic brand that everybody loves and capture this EV movement, although I don't know how it's going to work now that the incentives, I don't know. But I think they have that set up for those things to be able to kick into some gas-driven fucking thing, because it's easy for them to already have things built in to just make it a hybrid. Right, and you could be right, because that's exactly what Volkswagen is doing. That's exactly where Volkswagen is taking the Scout. Is a diesel generating motor. So good call on your behalf. Yeah, you just can't beat a Toyota truck, man. I've had 3 of them. I've had 3 trucks and an 84 4Runner. You know, the old school ones where the tops came off. I stole that fucking thing, dude. I bought that thing back in 2011. Scott, it was on Folly Beach. I saw it come up on Craigslist for $1,000. Says motor turns over great, we just can't get it to start. I'm like, this isn't gonna last long. Even if I had to go find a whole brand new, or not brand new, but go purchase out of a junkyard a 22R motor, which is what was in that thing, I'm still ahead of the game. Even if I just take it to a mechanic and go replace the fucking engine with another 22R, I'm still way ahead of the fucking game. Dude, I got that thing home. I drained the gas tank, changed the fucking fuel filters on that son of a bitch, changed the plugs and all the gadgetry of that, distributor cap and everything, cranked right the fuck up. 4 hours worth of work, and that fucking thing was running like they built it yesterday. Those expeditions are awesome, dude. There's actually the Ford dealer up here has one right now. It's only got 42,000 miles on it. Now those motherfuckers want close to $35,000 for it. They're out of their fucking minds. But they'll probably catch some fool in this, 3 beers in and going down, memory lane, or find some sort of nostalgia as they're flipping, the screen and come by it. I wouldn't, it's because it's diesel and everything. Oh, that's right. That's right. I sold you a Tacoma. I forgot about that. That red Tacoma. That's what Henley drives now. Well, the modern day version of it. His is a 18. No, 16. His is 2016. Is it? Because we bought it in 22. Yeah, it's 2016. Henley says he has zero plans to get rid of that truck, and he's smart. And that's why we bought it. It was like, man, for a DD, 20 years from now, he can get in that fucking Toyota and go from here to California and not have a fucking problem. Not a damn problem out of it. If he just even half-ass maintains it. Damn, that's a good bit of work after 100, just 120. Yeah, easy, dude, easy. And like I said, I put I put 4 hours and I don't know, call it $100 into that thing. Drove it for about a year and a half, and somebody offered me just under 6,000 for it. No, sorry, lie. Just under 5, and I took it. I was like, I've had my fun with it. Take it. And it wasn't just a random one-time offer. It was actually a neighbor that offered it to me multiple times, and I was like, you know what, you're probably going to enjoy it more than I do, because I would drive it occasionally on Saturdays and stuff, that was my beach vehicle, man. The little power window back there, or take the top off, throw the surfboards in the back and go to the beach. And it was also when Lisa got sick, and I was just like, take it. Might need the money more than the vehicle down the road, I don't know, and bird in the hand kind of thing. Oh, they were notorious for those fucking brake lights leaking, dude. I think Dodge still is notorious for that. Was it 91? Was it already what was that? So it was like 4 or 5 years old when you bought it? Maybe 4. I'd say 4. 91, 92, 93, 94. It's 4 or 5 years old when you bought it. I didn't realize it was already that old. But again, that's the selling point of a Toyota too. And it used to be I think it was a strong selling point of European cars for a long time. Is their styling was so on point that they very rarely had to change anything. Because I think people like that consistency. And because today you could still do it if you're a car person, but back in the day, even somebody that was mildly astute and savvy of cars, if a Volkswagen of any model, any European car come down the road, if you knew the model and were you just vaguely familiar with it, you knew it from off. That distinctive front and tail ends. Now every car looks the fucking same. Every one of them. But like Toyota and Jeep, they still look like they did 50 fucking years ago. And Toyota just, what was it, last year? the 2024s, they did a major styling change, cues to the front of the Tundra and the Tacoma. But Tundra is not old school in my book. It goes back to the T100, but that Tacoma has been around for fucking ever. There was a company that existed, I guess, back in the 70s, because the first Toyota pickup imports, when they first started importing, they wouldn't import four-wheel drives. They'd always only import the two-wheel drive and convert them to four-wheel drives. I can't remember what was the name of that company? All right, before they count with Tacoma. I can't, it's a fucking Toyota pickup truck. I mean, unless it was like the T100, which became the Tundra. I just think when the T100 came out, because it was truck, 100, just up there with, midsize. I think that's where they had to adapt a name for their pickup truck. I don't even, was there a name other than a Toyota truck? I don't know. Oh wow, you've gotten some miles on that thing then. There's been quite a few people here watching, not saying much. Everybody must have fallen asleep except for three of us. I got to get out of here, man. It is 1 a.m. and I'm going to have to get mellow, usually because it's odd to think of it, but this does amp you up with all the lighting and everything. You're fucking bright-eyed and bushy-tails when you jump off of doing these lives. And it's going to take me a minute to decompress. So I should hit it wasn't a T100. I don't know if they did have a model for that. I don't think so. Yeah, it was. They had the Helix. You're right. That's another thing. That's what we'll end on, dude. Why do we not have a Helix? Why do we not have a diesel Tacoma? I know the reason, because it's our stupid ass fucking laws on exhaust, but it's just dumb. They're everywhere. You go outside of this country, Helixes are fucking everywhere. I don't know about Canada, but you go south of here, or you go east or west, those fucking trucks are everywhere. And Isuzu Troopers. Yeah, that would make sense. Anyway, y'all have a good night, and those of you that are... Oh, is it embargo? I thought it had something to do with the emissions. Well, I knew there was an embargo, but I also thought the big thing was it was an emissions. Stupid diesel emissions thing. Yeah, nope, just Toyota truck. Okay, that's what I thought. Because the T stood for truck in T100. It was just telling you that it was a midsize. That's why the 100's there. Anyway, y'all have a good night. Those of you watching, have a good night. See you next Wednesday. Hopefully Float will come back. I mean, no matter what he does when he comes back, he's got to do Bean Bamboozled. It is here. It is waiting for him. I know he got his, so he can't escape it. Anyway, be cool. See you next time. Adios, motherfucker.